Have you ever caught yourself doom scrolling through Instagram at midnight, looking at people who seem to have their lives figured out, while you're still trying to remember if you brushed your teeth today? Well, you're not alone. The gap between who we are and who we want to be can feel like trying to cross the Grand Canyon on a unicycle. But what if I told you that becoming that person isn't about massive overnight transformations or buying that $2,000 online course some guru is selling? Then you might ask, so what is it about? After learning the wisdom of Dr. Jordan Peterson, I discovered 12 principles that actually work. So today, I'm going to share these 12 principles that can bridge that gap and help you become the person you've always wanted to be, without the empty promises or complicated life hacks. I used to think self-improvement meant adding more good habits to my already overwhelming to-do list. But the truth is, meaningful change often starts with subtraction, not addition. Then I discovered Jordan Peterson's powerful exercise. Sit quietly and ask yourself, what's one thing I'm doing wrong that I know I'm doing wrong, that I could fix, that I would fix? So try this tonight. Sit on your bed and genuinely ask yourself this question. And when that little voice says, maybe you should finally clean that science experiment you call a refrigerator, don't dismiss it. That uncomfortable answer might just be your first step toward real change. And yes, that leftover pasta from 3 weeks ago isn't improving with age. Trust me. We all want to transform our lives dramatically overnight. But that's like trying to run a marathon when you haven't even walked to your mailbox in months. Then Peterson's insight hits home. Transformation begins with micro-improvements. Those tiny, unglamorous changes nobody will applaud you for. So start with making your bed, organizing one drawer, or finally returning that book you borrowed in 2019. As Peterson says, you start making those micro-improvements, you'll improve unbelievably rapidly. Think of it this way, nobody builds Rome in a day, but they do lay one brick at a time. And no, ordering pizza and binge-watching documentaries about Rome doesn't count as progress. We've all been there, laughing at jokes we don't find funny, pretending to love sushi when we're secretly dreaming of a burger all to impress someone. But this constant performance is exhausting and prevents genuine connection. Then Peterson points out something profound. Relationships only truly flourish when we remove our masks and speak our truth. So start letting people see the real you, quirks, dad jokes, passionate rants about why cereal is a soup and all. You might lose some surface connections, but the relationships that remain will be infinitely stronger. Remember, if someone only likes the fake version of you, they don't actually like you. They like their fictional character that you're exhausting yourself playing. When I first heard about being authentic, I thought it meant sharing every random thought that crossed my mind. But this isn't about oversharing your bathroom habits with your boss or telling the barista your entire life story. Then Peterson clarifies this beautifully, drawing from Carl Jung's work. We all need a functional shell for social interactions, like not telling your dental hygienist what you really think while they're holding sharp objects in your mouth. So the key is balance, having appropriate personas for different contexts while staying connected to your authentic core. Think of it as wearing different outfits for different occasions. You're still you, just dressed appropriately for the situation. And yes, this means you can keep pretending to be interested when your neighbor shows you 47 nearly identical photos of their cat. That's just being polite, not inauthentic. Most of us handle our careers like we handle our junk drawer. We know things are messy in there, but we'd rather just close it and pretend everything's fine. But staying in a soul-crushing job while complaining about it isn't a strategy. It's a habit. Then Peterson offers practical advice. Update your resume, address gaps in your skills, explore opportunities, and position yourself from strength before making any moves. So before you dramatically quit your job to find yourself and then find yourself broke, build a strategic ladder to climb out. As Peterson says, put yourself in the most virtuous and powerful negotiating position possible. Think of it this way. You wouldn't enter a poker game with your cards facing outward and your chips in someone else's pile. Don't do it with your career either. We live in the age of fake it till you make it and Instagram filters that can make even a potato look glamorous. But pretending to know everything closes the door to actually learning anything. Then, Peterson hits us with this truth. Transformation begins with humility, the honest recognition of where you fall short. So embrace being a beginner again. Say those 3 magical words more often, I don't know, and no, following 5 Instagram accounts about quantum physics doesn't make you a physicist. True humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less and being honest about where you are. Plus, humble people are way less exhausting at dinner parties. Principle number 7, take full responsibility. When things go wrong, our first instinct is often to play the blame game. The economy, our boss, that person who cut us off in traffic 3 years ago, they're all conspiring against us. But blaming external factors, even when they're partly responsible, leaves us powerless. Then Peterson challenges us with this uncomfortable truth. Focus first on the part you can control, your own actions and reactions. So even when circumstances are unfair, ask yourself, what can I do about my situation right now? As Peterson says, do every bloody thing you possibly can to improve your position. It's like complaining about the rain while refusing to open an umbrella. Yes, you can't stop the rain, but you can definitely stop getting wet. Principle number 8. Learn to negotiate. Most of us approach negotiation like we're asking a stern parent for a later curfew, awkward, apologetic, and ready to accept whatever crumbs we're given. But effective negotiation is a skill that transforms every area of your life. Then Peterson points out something crucial. Most people are never taught how to advocate for themselves properly. So learn to articulate your value clearly and unapologetically. Practice in low-stakes situations first, like asking for a better hotel room or negotiating with your cat about why 3 a.m. is not an appropriate time for sprinting across your face. Remember, negotiation isn't about being aggressive, it's about being prepared and confident. And yes, this skill works everywhere, except at the DMV, nothing works there. Principle number 9, pursue your life's adventure. We often choose the devil we know over the angel we don't. That soul-crushing job, at least it pays the bills. That unfulfilling relationship, at least you're not alone on Friday nights. But isn't this comfortable misery as stealing your one wild and precious life? Peterson challenges us to imagine who you could be and then aim single-mindedly at that, to choose the adventure of growth over the certainty of stagnation. So ask yourself, what adventure are you postponing? What leap are you afraid to take? Because 20 years from now, you'll regret the chances you didn't take far more than the ones you did. Life isn't a dress rehearsal. And some day isn't a day of the week. But unless you're waiting for that suspicious milk in your fridge to improve, then definitely wait for some day. Or better yet, throw it out. We love taking credit for our successes, but blaming our failures on external factors. I got this promotion because I'm amazing, but I failed that test because the teacher hates me. So Peterson points out something uncomfortable. Much of what we have wasn't earned. He introduces the concept of thrownness. We didn't choose our talents, health, cultural context, or family background, but we benefit from them. So practice gratitude for your unearned advantages while taking responsibility for what you do with them. It's like recognizing you didn't build the ladder you're climbing, but you still have to do the climbing. And no, being able to touch your toes, or having an unusually strong immune system that lets you eat questionable gas station sushi doesn't count as oppressing others with your privilege. With great power comes, you know the rest, but is this only for superheroes? No, it's for all of us with any degree of capability or influence. And Peterson uses the metaphor of King Arthur's sword, recognizing that we have power but must be conscious of how we use it. So ask yourself, what am I capable of? And how am I using that capability? Whether you're influencing one person or thousands, your impact matters. Think of it this way. Spider-Man doesn't use his powers to win bar bets or become a YouTube prank sensation. Well, maybe in the multiverse, but you get the point. We all love thinking of ourselves as the hero of our story. But Peterson reminds us that the adversary is within. We all have a capacity for darkness that we'd rather not acknowledge. He challenges us to face this shadow side, not to wallow in guilt, but to truly understand ourselves completely. So have the courage to ask, what am I capable of at my worst? This isn't about self-flagellation, but honest recognition that growth requires facing all aspects of ourselves. It's like acknowledging that, yes, under the right circumstances, you too would fight an elderly person for the last roll of toilet paper during a shortage. We've all been there, 2020. Becoming your best self isn't about overnight transformation. Then you realize it's about honest reflection, small consistent improvements, and facing reality with courage. So which of these principles will you start with today? Remember, the journey toward becoming your best self begins with a single honest step. And unlike that gym membership you've been paying for since 2018, this is one commitment that will actually transform your life if you show up for it. If you found value in these insights, hit subscribe and share this video with someone who needs it. Your comments truly matter to me, so let me know which principle resonated most with you.